Chapter 761, Auctioning Ma and Zhao. The intense bidding had finally ended. In the end, the rank 8 Gu Immortal, 5 Elements Grandmaster, used a rank 7 Metal Path and a rank 6 Metal Path Immortal Gu, along with countless immortal materials, to become the eventual winner. 5 Elements Grandmaster's cultivation included the 5 paths of metal, wood, water, fire, earth. Thus, he had some Metal Path Immortal Gu as well. But this time, he was discarding a portion of his prize collection. It was like he was throwing away a meat-filled bun for a less tasty plain bread. Fang Yuan found it regrettable, but he had no way to compete in the bidding. Even if he had Gu Immortal captives, in terms of value, they could not compare to this extremely unique Immortal Gu. In fact, Reverse Misfortune Immortal Gu was very suitable with Spring-Autumn Cicada. The weakness of Spring-Autumn Cicada was that it gave the user bad luck. But after using this Immortal Gu, not only could this weakness be solved, the user's luck could even be improved, turning into good luck. Undeniably, the effect of Reverse Misfortune Immortal Gu was much more convenient than Connect Luck Immortal Gu. Unfortunately, Fang Yuan's financial power was at a completely disadvantage compared to people like 5 Elements Grandmaster and Yao Huan. Fang Yuan had only been an immortal for such a short time, from the point he obtained Hu Immortal Blessed Land. Only 2 years had passed according to the time of the 5 regions. Looking at southern border, the great battles at Etian Mountain had not even begun yet. Honestly speaking, Fang Yuan was able to become an immortal zombie in such a short time. Developing himself to this point was already very difficult. As for 5 Elements Grandmaster, Yao Huang, and Feng Jiuge, they had already accumulated their wealth for countless years. They had hundreds of thousands of immortal essence stones, in addition to precious immortal materials. The amount of resources their immortal aperture worlds created each year could pile up into a mountain. The resources that they provided could even heavily affect the market in Treasure Yellow Heaven. These were all powerhouses, be it their battle strength, financial power, connections, or status. Fang Yuan could not compare with them at this moment. After Reverse Misfortune, it was another rank 7 Immortal Gu, called Blessing in Disguise. This Gu's ability was quite mystical. It targeted the immortal aperture's calamities and tribulations. After a Gu immortal undergoes tribulation, the Tao marks on their bodies would increase in numbers, causing their cultivation level to progress. This was common knowledge in Gu immortal cultivation. Blessing in Disguise Immortal Gu targeted this point. After using it, when a Gu immortal completes a tribulation, the increase in the number of Tao marks on them would be twice that of the original amount. This was a terrifying number. The reward of 1 tribulation would be equal to the amount normal people get from 2 tribulations. But this Gu had a flaw. It had to be activated before the calamities and tribulations. It could only stop after the calamities and tribulations had ended. Through the effect of this Gu, the calamities and tribulations would have a 30 to 40% increase in strength, based on their original power. This weakness dampened the enthusiasm in the Gu immortals slightly. But they could still not resist the temptation. Up to 40% more power in the tribulation in exchange for twice the amount of Tao marks. The benefit outweighed the cost. For those experts confident in surviving a tribulation, this immortal Gu had much greater attraction to them. A terrifying auction thus unfolded. A Metal Path Gu Immortal. Qin Baisheng naturally requested for a rank 7 Metal Path Immortal Gu as the base bid. Eventually, Heavenly Lord Baizu had sweat on his forehead as he defeated his competitors, obtaining this Gu. The following auction items caused surges in turn. Fortuitous encounter Immortal Gu that could allow opportunities to arrive for the Gu Immortal themselves. Immortal Gu from the 5 mainstream paths, metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, that were helpful to Gu Immortals. Immortal Gu that operated in both Luck Path and Wisdom Path. Luck Deduction Immortal Gu. It could consume one's own luck to make deductions on dangers or opportunities in the future. Luck Suppression Immortal Gu that could suppress the loss of one's own luck from other Immortal Gu. These Immortal Gu were indeed the essence of the Luck Path true inheritance. Not only were they incredible, they had useful effects that broadened everyone's horizons. But these Gu fell into the hands of Yao Huang, Feng Jiuge, and the other powerhouses. This was an expected situation. Fang Yuan wanted to interfere, but he did not have any Metal Path Immortal Gu. This was a helpless matter. The Other rank 6 Gu immortals and most rank 7 Gu immortals were like Fang Yuan, only able to watch these powerhouses compete for immortal Gu. The prices of the auction items created new records. Fang Yuan's records from the 2 immortal Gu he sold were already pushed out of the top 10. The next item is the final and most important item in this auction. Qin Baisheng introduced it as such. His way of speaking immediately attracted the attention of the Gu immortals. Just as everyone was guessing to themselves what immortal Gu it was, Ma Hongyun and Zhao Lianyun, who were unconscious, appeared on the stage. Qin Baisheng spoke at an appropriate time. Please do not be alarmed. I am sure a lot of Gu immortals have guessed it already. That is right. These two are the crucial people who were protected by the luck path, true inheritance previously. This girl is called Zhao Lianyun. She was very intelligent since a young age, and had experienced the crucial battle in Imperial Court, Blessed Land. Although she was not the true inheritor, she had obtained a lot of benefits inside the luck path true inheritance light lump. She had obtained a portion of the luck path inheritance. As for this young man, he is Ma Hongyun, the one and only recognized inheritor of the luck path true inheritance. Not only did he experience the battle in Imperial Court Blessed Land, he even has had the fortune rivaling heaven immortal Gu used on him. Once he said that, the commotion was like a huge wave. Countless heated gazes were tightly fixed on Ma Hongyun. Did I hear wrongly? It is really fortune rivaling heaven immortal Gu. Fortune rivaling heaven. This is the trump card Gu of Giant Sun, Immortal Venerable. Although it was not recorded in history, there were many rumors that praised this immortal Gu endlessly. But this fortune rivaling heaven immortal Gu seems to be a consumable Gu. It can only be used once. Since it is the rank 8 fortune rivaling heaven, could Brother Qin use the rank 6 luck inspection immortal Gu to check it? In the main hall, a Gu immortal suddenly questioned. Qin Baisheng smiled as he replied, according to the information that I obtained in the true inheritance, unless it is the rank 8 luck inspection immortal Gu, one cannot see the true appearance of fortune rivaling heaven. Luck inspection immortal Gu below rank 8 can only see a portion of it, and that is only because the other party did not use any concealment method. Honestly speaking, I have already used the rank 6 luck inspection immortal Gu to find out some traces of fortune rivaling heaven. As for why I am so certain that fortune rivaling heaven was used on Ma Hongyun, that is because I have searched their souls. If you buy one of them and conduct soul searching, you will be able to see what happened inside Imperial Court Blessed Land. By then, you will know that my words are true. At the same time, these two inherited a huge portion of the luck path true inheritance. During the process of soul searching, you will be able to learn what they had learned in the inheritance. Saying this, Qin Baisheng paused and said in an enticing tone, I have bad news to share with everyone first. The luck path true inheritance is undoubtedly incomplete. The details do not contain the immortal Gu recipe of fortune rivaling heaven immortal Gu. But there is good news. In the inheritance details, there is a method to take back fortune rivaling heaven. It is possible to reverse refine the used fortune rivaling heaven immortal Gu and obtain the original immortal Gu. Of course, during the process of refinement, the main material would be this young man, Ma Hongyun. Hearing these words, most of the Gu immortals had eyes shining like they were going to burst out in fire. Some even gulped, as everyone was filled with anticipation and desire. Qin Baisheng's lips curled. He showed a confident smile. I feel that these two youngsters can best represent the essence of the luck path true inheritance. I will not be setting a base price for them, because they are not immortal Gu. You can bid for one of them, or both of them at the same time. We will start now. No base price. I will offer 300 immortal essence stones. One person shouted within the hall of enthusiastic Gu immortals. 30,000 immortal essence stones. Feng Gu said coldly, multiplying the bid by 100 times. But this price could not stop the enthusiasm of the other experts. It could only deny most of the bottom-tier Gu immortals. Yao Huang, the Eastern Sea Gu immortal, 5 Elements Grandmaster, Old Ancestor Shuahu, and Heavenly Lord Baizu, they were still bidding, and the representatives of the super forces were not showing weakness either. The price skyrocketed at an extremely fast pace. Fang Yuan sighed to himself. His financial power was like an ant compared to these giants. Unless he put all of his Gu immortal captives on the line, he could not contest with them. But Fang Yuan would not do this. He was already on the strength path, and was planning to go in a time path. He was not going to develop his luck path attainment. And he was also the main culprit of the Imperial Court Blessed Land incident. He had experienced more of that series of events than Ma and Zhao. He knew most of the inner details regarding the information of the luck path true inheritance, as well as the reverse refinement of fortune rivaling heaven immortal Gu. They were very tempting indeed. But fortune rivaling heaven immortal Gu was rank 8. Fang Yuan was only rank 6. How could he refine it? His finances would definitely be unable to support it. Furthermore, even if he succeeded, he did not have the ability to keep it. The bidding of Ma Hongyun and Zhao Lianyun lasted for much of the hour. Eventually, two unthinkable prices stood at the top two spots, at the record highest prices in this auction. The second spot was Feng Jiuge. He had bought Zhao Lianyun. The one who obtained Ma Hongyun was the rank 8 great expert old ancestor Xuehu, the leader of Snowy Mountain Blessed Land, the #1 person in the demonic path, had shown his incredible wealth at the end of the auction. Before this, he had always concealed himself, barely buying anything. Towards the end, he dealt a heavy blow and swept his enemies away. Many Gu immortals, especially the representatives from the super forces who had the Huang Jin bloodline, had no choice but to watch as Ma Hongyun fell into the hands of the demonic path. Yao Huang sighed. He had bought many things already and expended a large amount of wealth. At the final moment, he lost to old ancestor Xuehu. But thankfully, Zhao Lianyun is still in the hands of our northern plains righteous path. The Gu immortals that had the Huang Jin bloodline consoled themselves. What they did not know was Swordmaster Yulan, who was representing Prince Feng Xian, was an impostor called Feng Jiuge. Speaking of which, this was really ironic. During his life, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable had kept the luck path true inheritance as a deep secret, setting up layers of protection and thinking of passing the complete version down to his descendants. In the end, the luck path true inheritance became incomplete and was split up by everyone, circulating into the entire world. The most important inheritors were even held in the hands of people who were not part of the Huang Jin bloodline. Chapter 762, Red Fiend Divine Boat. The main auction has ended. Next, there will be a 2-hour break for everyone to move around in the auction hall. 2 hours later, we will have the open transaction. After Qin Baisheng said that, he left the stage. He was tired, as the host the entire time, especially when he auctioned the essence of the luck path true inheritance. Because his own benefits were at stake, he made many schemes during the process. Even though there were many traces and most of the Gu immortals present could tell, the profits were too immense. Qin Baisheng could not care less. After this auction is over, I will escape and hide from the world. After managing and processing my gains for most of a century, I will roam the world after that. Qin Baisheng decided in his head. He was the biggest winner of this auction. The immortal materials he obtained could pile into a mountain. He also obtained many metal path immortal Gu that were compatible with him. The saying goes, humans die for wealth and birds die for food. Profits could move the human heart. Even if Gu immortals ordinarily appeared to be unconcerned with worldly matters, that was only because mortal materials cannot satisfy their desires. Auctioning the essence of the luck path true inheritance was extremely profitable. It was greatly heated. Even the rank 7 expert, Qin Baisheng, had felt uneasy to eye in the main hall. Discussions soon commenced. Many Gu immortals came out of the single rooms and mixed into the group, engaging in conversations together. Qin Baisheng left a 2-hour break for everyone. He had his own intentions that it was not really a time to rest, but it was for the Gu immortals to communicate with each other and interact. From the auction earlier, everyone had gained a certain level of understanding towards each other's resources. Now, to exchange for the things they wanted, they would naturally need to interact first. Fang Yuan and Tai Bai Yunxing sat in the secret rooms and did not move. Unfamiliar face was a mortal killer move. It had limited effect, and the two had to be careful. They could not expose themselves. Fang Yuan felt some regret that he was unable to obtain anything in the luck path true inheritance. Especially Ma and Zhao, the people who knew the truth of the Imperial Court incident. Fang Yuan wanted to deal with them. But he did not have enough strength. He could only watch and could not interfere. There was nothing he could do. Thankfully, he had not sold the Gu immortal captives in his hands yet. There was the open trading later. He could still look forward to that point 2 hours later. Qin Baisheng stepped onto the stage again, announcing the start of the open transactions. For the sake of fairness, he did the same thing again, using Gu worms to choose a lucky person to enter the stage first. This first Gu immortal took out a large amount of an immortal material, broken wave flowers. His request was prosperity soil. Broken wave flowers grew in large rivers. They were magical flowers born during the moments where waves appeared and vanished. Because they had a short lifespan, they were hard to gather. As for prosperity soil, diamond soil, green fist soil, these soils were highly sought-after items by Gu immortals. Gu immortals developed their immortal apertures. They used the resources produced in their immortal apertures to cultivate. The fertility of their soil played a huge role in this. Prosperity soil could grow all sorts of flowers. Diamond soil could grow minerals, while green fist soil could accumulate and gather the fertility to prevent it from vanishing. It was suited for immortal apertures with terrain resembling barren lands, like deserts. That Gu immortals who owned prosperity soil were not few. Immediately, they started speaking, asking how much was needed for the trade. The seller on the stage actually had large numbers of broken wave flowers. After trading for 1,500 kilograms of prosperity soil, he waved his hand and left the stage. The difference between the auction and the open transaction was very obvious. The auction was for valuable items. They had a huge prerequisite for bidders. The open transaction often involved scattered trades. The entry level was low, but this was not universal. After several Gu immortals, a Gu immortal who did not want to expose themselves showed an immortal Gu and asked Qin Baisheng to sell it for them. This immortal Gu was one that did not get sold earlier. The seller had lowered their requirements greatly. But even so, the request was still an immortal Gu. There were a few people who responded. They wanted the price to be lower. The seller refused, and eventually, the trade failed, and this immortal Gu returned to the seller's hands. When it was Fang Yuan's turn, more than 30 rounds had passed. The 37th secret room is selling a Gu immortal captive. Qin Baisheng said as he displayed the sleeping Gu immortal inside the sleeping cloud coffin. Immediately, the auction hall went into a commotion. The slave trade industry was well known by every immortal. But to sell Gu immortals like they were slaves, this was an extremely rare event. For many Gu immortals, this was the first time they had seen it once. Gu immortals discussed as their expressions varied. When Qin Baisheng announced it again, the scattered conversations in the hall became softer. Someone asked for the details. Qin Baisheng introduced. This Gu immortal captive might be familiar to some of you. He is Loner Hong Yu, a rank 6 fire path Gu immortal. His cultivation is at 1 heavenly tribulation. This is the situation inside his blessed land. You can all take a look. Saying so, the image on the stage changed, reflecting the situation of Loner Hong Yu's immortal aperture. This blessed land is a little barren. Yes, managing his blessed land so poorly, no wonder he was captured alive. Don't forget, the Gu immortal who captured him must have already looted his blessed land already. To us fire path Gu immortals, isn't it better if this Loner Hong Yu's cultivation is lower? The Gu immortals were moved. Fire path Gu immortals had great demand for Loner Hong Yu's immortal aperture. Once they swallowed his blessed land, they could skip 1 heavenly tribulation, many earthly calamities, and gain cultivation levels out of nowhere. The foundation of their blessed land would surge by a huge amount. Even if one was not a fire path Gu immortal, most of the Gu immortals also wanted the blessed land. Even if their paths were different and they could not swallow the blessed land, they could still occupy this ownerless blessed land after killing him and obtain a good territory too. Managed out if they managed it well, the blessed land would be like a source of treasures, producing resources endlessly, sustaining the Gu immortals' cultivation needs. Just as Qin Baisheng had expected, Loner Hong Yu became a sought-after commodity. Fang Yuan listed a broad range of requests. First, he listed a large amount of immortal materials. Next was killer moves from Strength Path, Poison Path, Time Path, and Wisdom Path. Next was all sorts of Gu recipes. The rarer they were, the better. After that, he asked for desolate beast corpses, Food Path inheritances, or clues for them, Wisdom Path inheritances, or clues, Time Path inheritances, or clues. Finally, he asked for battle bone wheel goo, the recipes for white bone chariot, lifespan goo, and others. Eventually, Loner Hong Yu went into 5 Elements Grandmaster's hands. 5 Elements Grandmaster cultivated metal, wood, water, fire, earth, all 5 paths. Loner Hong Yu's immortal aperture was useful to him. After selling Loner Hong Yu, the next person was up. According to the rules of the open transaction, each Gu Immortal could only sell one thing in each round. This was for fairness. Fang Yuan was not anxious. He patiently waited. After some rounds, he had sold more than half of his Gu Immortal captives. Not only did he finish Lang Ya Land Spirit's checklist, he even had extra. Not only this, Fang Yuan also obtained the corpse of a desolate beast bat. During this period of time, he noticed that he was not the only one selling Gu Immortal captives. Old Ancestor Shui Hu and Heavenly Lord by Zeus sold them openly. The Eastern Sea Gu Immortal sold 3 immortal zombie bodies, causing the displeasure of Yin Lu Gong and Dragon Commander Yicha. But in the end, Yao Huang joyfully bought these 3 immortal zombie bodies. After seeing this, Fang Yuan relaxed a bit. Lang Ya Land Spirit was not the only one capable of capturing Gu Immortals. No matter how excellent you are, there is always someone more excellent than you. There were more capable people among other Gu Immortals. During this period of time, Fang Yuan had changed his room continuously, obscuring his traces and preventing others from finding out that he was the person who was selling most of the Gu Immortal captives. Gradually, more and more Gu Immortals stopped trading. They chose to watch on the sidelines. They had basically accomplished their respective goals. The remaining Gu Immortals, even though they were few in number, the goods they were selling were getting more precious and valuable. By the 9th round, Gu Immortals were starting to leave. Just as Fang Yuan thought that the last of his Gu Immortal captives would be sold routinely, Qin Baisheng's expression changed as he received a major request from a lone cultivator. He raised his voice as he said, "Next, we will be selling the complete Gu recipe of the Immortal Gu House, Red Fiend Divine Boat, as well as the method to use it. The seller is requesting for anything that can assist them in cultivating Wood Path." What? Red Fiend Divine Boat? They are selling this Immortal Gu House. Why are they selling it now? The auction is nearing its end. Haha, the people who left earlier must be dying of regret. In 2 single rooms, Yin Lu Gong and Dragon Commander Yi Cha had very ugly expressions. Zombie Alliance was trying to eliminate the Gu Immortal who was selling the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe. But this lone cultivator was very good at hiding. They could not find a chance to strike. At the auction, Zombie Alliance could not make a move on him. They could only urge him and offer a high price. But this lone cultivator was swayed by the atmosphere of the auction. He became greedy and demanded even higher prices, extorting and threatening Zombie Alliance. Finally, just earlier, their discussions had ended in failure, with the lone cultivator immediately putting up the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe for sale. "I will pay 6,000 Immortal Essence Stones and 1,500 kilograms of red refinement metal to buy it all. Immortal Farmer Soil. I have 4,000 kilograms of Immortal Farmer Soil. I will use it all to exchange for the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe." You bunch of fools, didn't you hear Brother Chin's words? The seller wants Wood Path resources. I have Jade Fallen Grass here. So what if it is Jade Fallen Grass? I have Instinct Roots. At once, everyone's moods were riled up, as the representatives of the super forces and the rank 8 great experts joined in. The 2 leaders of Zombie Alliance were furious, but they had to join in the competition. At once, the calm open transaction had turned into a battlefield, like they were back in the auction rounds. The allure of the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe was obvious from this. "I am willing to pay with a Wood Path Immortal Gu in exchange for the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe." Soon, the representative of a super force, Meng tribe, shouted, "My Yuan tribe also has a Wood Path Immortal Gu. We will also add in 300 true martial carps." Yuan Rangzun shouted. The Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe was too alluring. He even used his precious true martial carps as part of the bid. "If you let my Zombie Alliance purchase this, I, Yin Lu Gong, will vow this on my reputation. I will definitely resell this recipe." Yin Lu Gong said coldly. "I, Yao Huang, can attest for that." Soon after, Yao Huang spoke, adding weight to these words. "Humph. I have a Wisdom Path Immortal Gu. unravel mystery. It can deduce all traces of any inheritance. I will add in 3 vats of Lingji liquid. Heavenly Lord Baizu shouted at once. Shouting could be heard everywhere. It was a chaotic scene. Fang Yuan's heart was moved. His eyes burst with brilliant light. If he did not hear wrongly, that was the unravel mystery, immortal goo, correct? Chapter 763. 3 parties mutually win. Unravel mystery, immortal goo. Unravel mystery, immortal goo. Fang Yuan muttered. His finger was tapping on the handle of his seat as it made soft noises. Bidding could be heard all over the auction hall. At the end of the auction, such a huge treasure like the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe appeared. This was an unexpected surprise. Ordinary lone cultivators did not need to consider it. Only the rank 7 goo immortals and super forces or rank 8 great experts could have any chance in competing for it. Especially the super forces, the allure of the immortal goo house was extremely great for the super forces. The price rose at an absurd speed, climbing rapidly. Even though this was the open transaction, everyone was fighting for the good. They subconsciously returned to the auction format that was used previously. Qin Baisheng laughed bitterly. The regulations were set by him. But seeing these experts screaming their lungs out, he chose to watch on the sidelines. At this point, talking about regulations would just offend all of these powerhouses. Do you see? This is the attraction of the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe. Your zombie alliance was simply too stingy. The seller acted arrogantly upon seeing this, sending a message to the 2 leaders of Zombie Alliance. Dragon Commander Yucha's face darkened. Yin Lu Gong was sighing helplessly, looking at this price. It was already higher than what the Zombie Alliance was planning to pay. And this was not the end. The price was still climbing. Yin Lu Gong was a sensible person. He knew that at this point, the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe could not belong to Zombie Alliance. When leader returns, who knew would she criticize him for being so incapable in handling this matter? As Fang Yuan listened to the bids, he assessed quietly in his mind. I have 4 goo immortal captives left. One of them is Wu Hao, known as Rushing Thunder Hand. He is the only rank 7 captive I have. There are 3 others. They are the 3 Huahai immortals. They cultivate with path. Evidently, there was little chance of success if he wanted to use these 4 goo immortal captives to trade for Heavenly Lord Baizu's Unravel Mystery Immortal Goo. Heavenly Lord Baizu was an enslavement path goo immortal, with a different path. The allure of these 4 goo immortal captives was greatly lowered. The other point was, immortal goo were unique, and Unravel Mystery Immortal Goo was very useful. If not for the attraction of the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe, Heavenly Lord Baizu would not have exposed such a good goo. If I try to trade it directly, it would not work. The Strength Path Immortal Goo that I just obtained have no use to Heavenly Lord Baizu. If I use Calamity Beckoning Immortal Goo, I will be exchanging a rank 7 for a rank 6. That exchange would be at a loss. As for Fixed Immortal Travel and Connect Luck, they are indispensable to me. I cannot trade them away. But Fang Yuan did not want to give up on Unravel Mystery Immortal Goo. If he missed this chance, if he missed this situation, even if he had the resources in the future, it would be hard to trade for it. Unravel Mystery Immortal Goo was not a necessity to Fang Yuan. But in his memories, he had to way to use this goo as the core. In combination with other rare supplementary goo worms, he could conjure a Dream Path Killer move. A Dream Path Immortal Killer move. At this time, the prophecy of the 3 Venerables had spread throughout the 5 regions. Because of Great Dream Immortal Venerable, almost all of the super forces and rank 8 powerhouses were researching Dream Path. Although their research results were shallow, Dream Realms were already starting to manifest. There were already 2 Dream Path Immortal Goo he knew of in this life. One was in Feng Jinhuang's hands, the other was in Lady Poison Scorpion's possession. To speak of it, the latter was more problematic. Feng Jinhuang was still a mortal lass, but Lady Poison Scorpion was in her blessed land, slumbering as she explored a dream realm. Everyone knew that Dream Path was the trend of the future. Thus, they treasured anything relating to this path greatly. Many Dream Path Mortal Goo that they refined were not shown to the world. They were the greatest mysteries of each force. Those who were able to become Goo Immortals were dragons among men. They had good foresight and were very shrewd individuals. Even in an auction of such scale, there had been no Dream Path-related treasures sold. Fang Yuan knew about the Goo recipes of many Dream Path Mortal Goo. But Mortal Goo were not helpful towards the exploration of Dream Realms. Otherwise, the major forces would have started exploring Dream Realms en masse already. The truly useful ones were Dream Path Immortal Goo. But the amazing thing was, be it the 2 that appeared now, or the dream path immortal goo that appeared in the future. According to Fang Yuan's memories, they were all in the hands of women. Perhaps this was explained by the prophecy of 3 venerables, stating 2 male venerables and 1 female venerable. With this, one could deduce that great dream immortal venerable would be a female immortal venerable. Within a short time, Fang Yuan would not be able to obtain a dream path immortal goo. But if he had a dream path immortal killer move, then that could substitute for the effect of a dream path immortal goo. Goo are the essence of heaven and earth. Man is the spirit of all living beings. One could say the use of goo depended on the user. There was no strongest goo worm, only a strongest goo master. Genius goo masters could often match different goo worms together, unleashing a greater effect from that. For example, Fang Yuan did not have a strength path immortal goo previously, but he used the soul path cleanse soul immortal goo, combined with other mortal goo, to form the immortal killer move myriad self, creating a starting point of the path formed from the convergence of enslavement and strength. This dream path immortal killer move was the same case. The core immortal goo was of wisdom path. Unravel mystery, but it was a dream path killer move. If I can obtain this goo, I will be able to collect dream realm goo materials and refine the various mortal goo. Even though it would spend some time, but once I succeed in forming my killer move, the rewards will be immensely more profitable. I will be able to make up for the regret during my previous life, becoming a pioneer in the exploration of dream realms, being ahead of all the forces in this world, being ahead of the superpowers. Fang Yuan's mouth turned dry as he thought about it. He estimated the potential value coming from this dream path killer move was in no way lower than wisdom goo. It was only beneath what had come from spring autumn cicada and who immortal blessed land, but higher than all-out effort goo. Among the countless opportunities in Fang Yuan's previous life, the most valuable one was spring autumn cicada. Even though it was rank 6, far inferior to wisdom goo's rank 9, it could allow Fang Yuan to be reborn and start again. Even if there was a chance of failure, didn't he succeed every time until now? If he failed the first time, it would have been the worst opportunity he ever had. But it had succeeded. It was deserving of being his greatest fortune. Next was who immortal blessed land. It had allowed Fang Yuan to have the foundation of a goo immortal despite being immortal, standing on the shoulder of a former goo immortal. After becoming an immortal zombie, it made up for his weakness in his aspect. It was because of this blessed land that Fang Yuan had ample foundation. The cultivation of goo immortals was not just about fighting and killing. Economic management was the biggest foundation base. Third was wisdom goo. Using the light of wisdom, Fang Yuan gained unlimited inspiration. It rapidly pulled him out of his slump. But that was built on the blessed land and his own foundation. In the future, if he truly controlled it, it might bring Fang Yuan a pleasant surprise. But for now, it was third. The fourth was all-out effort goo. Even though this mortal goo was only rank 4, he obtained it at a very crucial moment. It was the first springboard since Fang Yuan's rebirth. Without all-out effort goo, Fang Yuan would not have had such incredible battle strength. Without his battle strength, he would not have been able to participate in the 3 Kings inheritance. As for the dream path killer move, if he obtained it, Fang Yuan would be able to use it well and the value would be equal to the current use of wisdom goo. After this time period, the value of dream path killer moves would fall drastically. When dream realms undergo complete external manifestation, and dream path would be thriving all over, this killer move's value would fall beyond belief. The value of opportunities depended on the timing. Spring autumn cicada was very valuable. But if Fang Yuan became a demon venerable and was invincible in the world, why would he need it? This was also the case for who immortal blessed land. If Fang Yuan obtained it after becoming a goo immortal and had his own healthy blessed land, the value he received from it would be far lower. The same logic applied to wisdom goo, all-out effort goo, and this dream path killer move. But I definitely need the core immortal goo, unravel mystery, to use this dream path killer move. Otherwise, all of this is empty talk. Fang Yuan looked at the auction again. At this moment, there were few competitors left. Feng Zhougu and old ancestor Shui who were out of the competition. These two had spent a great amount to buy Ma and Zhao. Their foundations were shaken, and they no longer were able to compete. Yao Huang had backed out regrettably as well. He had purchased some refinement path immortal goo, as well as many goo immortal captives. With the huge resource consumption of refinement path, all sorts of restrictions forced him to back out. 5 Elements Grandmaster had stopped long ago. He had bought many immortal goo of the mainstream paths, and he was also a lone cultivator. The last ones remaining were Heavenly Lord by Zhu, the Eastern Sea rank 8 goo immortal, and 3 super forces. They were Yuan tribe, Murong tribe, and Chanyu tribe. Soon, Chanyu tribe left the competition as well. Even though Yuan tribe's Yuan Rangzun was screaming that he wanted to sell all of the true martial carps away, he could not make up his mind. After all, Yuan tribe already had their own immortal Gu house. Thus, only Murong tribe, the Eastern Sea Gu immortal, and Heavenly Lord Baizu were left. Murong Jin Shao, my force has no immortal Gu house to defend it. This is very dangerous. If you can let go today, I will definitely compensate you well. In the secret room, the Eastern Sea Gu immortal urged. Murong Jin Shao shook his head, paying respects as he smiled. Lord, my Murong tribe's immortal Gu house is lacking a core immortal Gu. Everyone in Northern Plains know that. This matter involves huge benefits for my tribe. Please forgive me for my insolence. I want to fight for it. Whether it ends in success or failure, I do not want to be resigned. The Eastern Sea Gu immortal sighed faintly. He no longer said anything apart from raising the bid. It seems that I still have some hope. The price was already at 2 immortal Gu. It had far exceeded the value of 4 Gu immortal captives, but Fang Yuan's gaze was becoming more excited. Even though the Red Fiend Divine Boat is good, no core immortal Gu are being sold. The immortal Gu that the 3 of them are offering are rank 6. They have little use. 2 immortal Gu are the limit. Those 3 are already thinking hard. Their bids are increasing very slowly. After all, even if they obtain this Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe, it only involves the entirety of the immortal Gu recipes. They still needed to spend a huge sum refining the Gu. The seller is a woodpath cultivator. He wants resources useful to his cultivation. Among these 6 immortal Gu, only one is woodpath. It comes from Murong tribe, but it is an investigative immortal Gu. Hee, this is great. Forget about the last Gu immortal, Rushing Thunderhand Wu Hao, that I still have. But the 3 Huahai immortals are woodpath Gu immortals. I can make good use of this situation in a plan. Fang Yuan moved quickly. He immediately informed Qin Baisheng and contacted Heavenly Lord Baizu. The 3 parties are in a stalemate now. I do not have a woodpath immortal Gu, and Murong tribe has the greatest chance now. Maybe I can use this to break the stalemate? Heavenly Lord Baizu was moved. He changed his bid. He first took down Unravel Mystery Immortal Gu and put up the 3 Huahai immortals. The seller's eyes brightened. He hesitated for a bit before choosing Heavenly Lord Baizu. He was an astute person. To him. Even though the other 2 sides had an additional immortal Gu, only one of them had a woodpath immortal Gu. But in Heavenly Lord Baizu's bid, there was a movement immortal Gu and 3 woodpath immortal apertures. He could swallow them and gain a huge boost in cultivation level. He sold the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe. He had already offended Zombie Alliance. His current concerns were to protect his life and develop in secret. What suited himself had the greatest value. Heavenly Lord Baizu did not have any interest in the 3 Huahai immortals, but the seller needed them urgently. As for Heavenly Lord Baizu, he did not make any losses. He still paid a price of 2 immortal Gu. Since he had already decided to give up Unravel Mystery Immortal Gu, did it matter who it ended up with? Selling it to Fang Yuan, he broke the stalemate and obtained the Red Fiend Divine Boat recipe. As for Fang Yuan, he finally obtained Unravel Mystery Immortal Gu. This is a mutual win for 3 parties. Haha. He laughed heartily. Chapter 764. Actions of all parties. Heavenly Lord Baizu became the final winner of the intense bidding war, obtaining the complete recipe for Red Fiend Divine Boat. And the beneficiary of the backdoor deal, Fang Yuan, also successfully obtained Unravel Mystery Immortal Gu. Fang Yuan was very satisfied with this transaction. Heavenly Lord Baizu became the focal point of everyone's attention, and apart from a few related people, no one knew Unravel Mystery Immortal Gu had landed in Fang Yuan's hands. Red Fiend Divine Boat's recipe could be considered as an unexpected final climactic moment of the auction. Time passed. For hours later, this auction, which included various outstanding people, finally ended. There is still no reply from Fairy Li Shan's end. Fang Yuan secretly asked Tai Bai Yunsheng. Tai Bai Yunsheng quickly sent his message. Nothing until now. Fairy Li Shan actually missed such a grand event. It seems there is definitely some issue on her end. Do we return through the previous route? Fang Yuan and Tai Bai Yunsheng came to Qin Baisheng's blessed land through the whole Earth Gu established between Qin Baisheng and Fairy Li Shan. Now, the situation on Fairy Li Shan's end was unclear, and rashly using whole Earth Gu to return was undoubtedly an unwise move. No, we will first leave along with the others, then use fixed immortal travel. We need to be careful, though. There will definitely be turmoil soon, Fang Yuan reminded. Tai Bai Yunxing nodded with a serious expression. The auction might have ended, but there were sure to be many who were not satisfied with the results. With the end of the auction, the previous agreement signed by all parties would expire. Without the restriction, people's hearts and minds would be moved by wealth. Robbery, extortion, and ambushes would be the next event. Most of the Gu immortals had the same thoughts as Fang Yuan and Tai Bai Yunxiang. Thus, they left the blessed land in a hurry and full of caution. We must get that guy. He actually dared to sell the Red Fiend divine boat recipe openly. Our zombie alliance's face had been lost completely. We could let go if it was only our face. But the key thing is that the leader had repeatedly reminded us of the importance of this task before she left. But now we have screwed up. When the leader comes back and hears the news, who knows how she will punish us? Yin Lu Gong and Dragon Commander Yi Cha discussed as they looked at their target hurriedly leaving in the sky above Crimson Reed Marsh. Heavenly Lord, I wonder if you are interested in selling the Red Fiend divine boat recipe to my Yao tribe. Yao Huang stayed behind and persuaded Heavenly Lord Baizu. Heavenly Lord Baizu chuckled. Lord Yao Huang is jesting. How can such a treasure be sold easily? I won't conceal it from you. I have a lot of descendants and they are filling up my grotto heaven. Recently, I have been planning to establish a tribe. Perhaps we can have many opportunities to collaborate with Yao tribe. The leaders of various forces in the surroundings had changes in their expressions as they heard this. Heavenly Lord Baizu was a rank 8 powerhouse. A tribe he established, with his support, was certain to thrive. Not only this, with the support of a rank 8 Gu immortal, even if the new tribe's foundation was lacking, it would still be a super force. Northern Plains was Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's homeland, the place where he rose up and established a hereditary monarchy. For a long time up to now, the super forces in Northern Plains were almost all of Huang Jin bloodline. Heavenly Lord Baizu was trying to poke his nose into this by establishing a super force, which no doubt was going to create an enormous impact on those Huang Jin descendants at the same time. With the lone cultivator, Heavenly Lord Baizu, becoming the first supreme elder of a righteous path force, it would have huge impacts on both the demonic path and lone cultivator camps. Yao Huang's smile became even brighter. Since Heavenly Lord has such an intention, who could stop you in this huge world? It is very difficult for us old fellows to gather together. No time is better than the present. How about we have a chat today? Haha, this is also what I wanted to say. Heavenly Lord Baizu laughed heartily. Yao Huang opened up his immortal Gu house, Medicine Cottage, and invited all the Gu immortals present to join. Most of the super forces entered in the end, including 5 Elements Grandmaster, who represented the benefits of lone cultivators. However, Old Ancestor Shui, who refused to in this auction, Old Ancestor Shui, who had invested a lot to buy Mahong Yuan, as well as precious contents of the essence of the luck path true inheritance. What he most wanted to do now was to use Mahong Yuan as the primary material in refining fortune rivaling heaven and use its effects on himself. The person representing Prince Feng Xian's will, Feng Jiuge, who had disguised himself as Sword Master Yulan, also refused this gathering and left on his OWN in a hidden area among the reeds. He quietly met with the Central Continent Gu immortals. I have sent you the message regarding the auction. Feng Jiuge looked at everyone with a smile. Lord Jiuge made a really good move. Such courage. I am in admiration. With Zhao Lianyun, we can search her soul and find many precious clues regarding the main culprit of the Imperial Court incident. I still have to thank Lord for trading a suitable immortal Gu for me. What should our actions be next? The Central Continent Gu immortals talked one after the other, clearly treating Feng Jiuge as their leader. Feng Jiuge smiled. In this trip, he first used his tyrannical strength to subdue everyone, and now he had taken the risk to enter the tiger's den and trade immortal Gu for them. Through Feng Jiuge's methods and charisma, a stick in one hand and a carrot in the other, he was finally able to lead this group of experts. Of course, Feng Jiuge knew that behind this harmonious atmosphere, everyone still had their own thoughts. That it was only that all the experts were astute. Now that they were in Northern Plains with a heavy mission on their shoulders, even if they had any hidden thoughts, they suppressed it deep within themselves for the time being, choosing to sincerely cooperate. To Feng Jiuge, this was enough. Everyone. Although we obtained Zhao Yinyun, the clues available to verify the true culprit are probably not enough. If there were enough clues, Northern Plains Gu immortals would have already discovered the truth, and the perpetrator would have nowhere to hide. However, I found someone who is suspicious. Feng Jiuge said. Everyone's spirits rose at hearing this information. Feng Jiuge continued. But this person has hidden themselves too deeply. I never was able to find out their true identity. To find this person, we must start from the host of this auction. Lord is talking about Qin Baisheng. He is a famous expert of Northern Plains, a rank 7 metal path, Gu immortal. I also know of this person. He is a lone cultivator. Creating such an achievement today with just his own strength is truly rarely seen. Qin Baisheng not only has outstanding strength, he also has many favorable social connections. If we are going against him, we need to use all our strength to strike as quickly as possible. If we let him escape and ask for assistance from his allies, the situation will turn for the worse. Everyone was discussing vigorously. They were the representatives of the 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent, powerful and with a lot of methods, but they were fighting in enemy territory. Once their identities were exposed, it was likely that Northern Plains Gu immortals would band together to attack them. Fortunately, they still had Prince Feng Xian to aid them secretly in another area. A fight had already started. He Langzi, you really have guts. You actually dared to attack our Chanyu tribe. The Gu immortal who was ambushed shouted in fury. Humph, what is there to not dare? So what if you are from Chanyu tribe? No matter how powerful the immortal killer move Winged Blade is, can it save you now? Just be obedient and hand over that sandalwood sacred elephant egg, and I shall let you go. A giant wolf, the size of a small hill, spoke with an eerie gaze in a human voice. This egg came from the mysterious rank 8 Gu immortal of Eastern Sea. It had fallen into the hands of Chanyu tribe's representative at a certain point of the auction. He Langzi had left previously, but actually had other intentions. He carefully set up an ambush outside and waited for someone to fall into it, capturing this unlucky fellow. He Langzi, you have hidden your cards well. You actually have an informant in the auction. Didn't you call yourself a lone wolf, moving alone and disdaining interaction with other Gu immortals? Humph, if you have the guts, then place a stake against me in battle. If you win, I will immediately hand over this sandalwood sacred elephant egg to you. If you lose, then join our Chanyu tribe and serve for 100 years. The Chanyu tribe Gu immortal shouted. He had just spoken when he heard the sound of a woman's laugh coming from nearby. A black light flashed, and 3 Gu immortals appeared. The Chanyu tribe Gu immortal was startled. The other party had approached this closely, but he did not notice in the slightest until they intentionally revealed themselves. You are He Cheng? The Chanyu tribe Gu immortal carefully observed and quickly recognized their identities. Also Fairy Jiangyu, Why is Shuesong Zi of the demonic path with you? Chanyu Zhong'er, I know you have the immortal killer move, Immemorial Flame Axe. But thinking of using this move to battle He Lang Zi and recruit a rank 7 as a goon for your tribe is too naive. Fairy Jiangyu continued to smile. Chanyu Zhong'er's expression sank. As the other party had spoken accurately, it was because of this immortal killer move, Immemorial Flame Axe, that he had the confidence to participate in this auction as Chanyu tribe's representative. But who could have thought that he had still greatly underestimated human desire, and also overestimated Chanyu tribe's stature? He Cheng, you are a He tribe Gu immortal and are of Huang Jin bloodline, like my Chanyu tribe. But you are actually colluding with demonic path outsiders to harm us righteous path Gu immortals. Don't make such a huge mistake. It is still not too late to turn back. Chanyu Zhong'er thought rapidly and tried to persuade He Cheng. Shuesong Zi laughed loudly. If it was your big brother here, Chanyu Shangyi, we would have a headache. If it was your younger brother, Chanyu Xiaosan, we would have dispelled any intention of ambush. Unfortunately, you don't have the defensive prowess of your big brother. Neither do you have the speed of your younger brother. Today your defeat is certain. Chanyu Zhong'er's expression became more unsightly. He stared fixedly at He Cheng and shouted, He Cheng, you are a righteous path Gu immortal. You built your reputation over so many years. Do you not want it? If this matter were to be exposed, or just a rumor of it is spread, you will be condemned by the public and hunted down like a rat. He Cheng's eyes flickered with hesitation. But Fairy Jiang Yu transmitted him a message, making him firmly resolute. Without saying anything, he waved an arm, from which a dark arrow flew out, straight towards Chanyu Zhong Air. He used action to show his resolution. Snowy mountain blessed land. Third branch peak. Jade green light shined and extinguished. Tai Bai Yunsheng appeared in the room at almost the same instant which he appeared. He activated his defensive killer move. 9 Cloud Ring Point. One of the disadvantages of fixed immortal travel was that other goo worms could not be used during the process. Another disadvantage was that the amount of immortal essence consumed would depend on the strength of the target. Previously, Fang Yuan was still immortal with few Dao marks on his body. Thus, the immortal essence consumed was much lower. However, when transporting a goo immortal, the minimum consumption was at least 1 bead of green grape immortal essence. After finding no dangers, Fang Yuan came out of Tai Bai Yunsheng's immortal aperture. This room was the place where Fairy Li Shan and He Lu Lan had met with them previously. There has been no response from either Fairy Li Shan or He Lu Lan. In accordance with the alliance, we must look into this. The most probable place is here. Shortly, the two found Fairy Li Shan and He Lu Lan in a bedroom. They are lying on the bed sleeping. Tai Bai Yunsheng was dazed. He was about to walk closer, but was stopped by Fang Yuan. Don't approach them. It is dangerous. What danger? Fang Yuan's eyes let out a sharp light. They are in a dream realm. If we approach them, we will also be ensnared. Chapter 765. Qin Bai Sheng vs. Feng Jiuge. Dream Realm. Tai Bai Yunsheng heard Fang Yuan's words, and his gaze flickered. He showed a grim expression. Earlier, when Fang Yuan and He Lu Lan collaborated to explore Starry Sky Grotto Heaven, he had met with danger in a dream realm of star constellation Immortal Venerable. Fang Yuan had explained this matter briefly to Tai Bai Yunsheng. Thus, when Tai Bai Yunsheng heard the term dream realm, he knew the severity of the situation. He sighed. No wonder Fairy Li Shan and He Lu Lan did not attend the auction. They were trapped in a dream realm. I had been guessing earlier if He Lu Lan's tribulation was causing them trouble. Fang Yuan nodded. Old Bai, you guessed correctly. Most likely, the tribulation caused them to be stuck in a dream realm, unable to free themselves. When goo immortals undergo tribulation, there can be dream realm calamities? Tai Bai Yunsheng asked in suspicion. Fang Yuan sighed. Not in the past, but now that dream realms have manifested, such calamities and tribulations have appeared gradually. Especially in the 500 years of his previous life, towards the second half of the 5 regions' chaotic war, dream realms manifested on a large scale, showing up in all corners of the 5 regions. The phenomenon of dream realms becoming tribulations also became more frequent. Countless goo immortals were harmed in the process. What do we do now? According to the Snowy Mountain Alliance, we cannot abandon them. Tai Bai Yunsheng was helpless. He asked Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was silent. His eyes were shining with a murky light at this moment. He Lu Lan and Fairy Li Shan had little to no defenses. It was not hard to kill them now. But because of the alliance agreement, Fang Yuan could not attack them. He even had to save them. The Snowy Mountain Alliance was made using Mountain Pledge Goo. If I want to break it, I will need to destroy Snowy Mountain. Unfortunately, I do not have enough strength now. It will be hard to do so. Even if I could destroy it, Tai Bai Yunsheng is too kind. He might be an obstacle if I try to attack them. Fang Yuan felt some regret. This indeed was a golden opportunity to by killing He Lu Lan. He would obtain Strength Chi Immortal Goo, Self-Strength Immortal Goo, Flying Bear Strength Goo, and Slavery Immortal Goo. The first 3 were Strength Path Immortal Goo, while the last one was Enslavement Path. They all suited Fang Yuan very well, especially Self-Strength Immortal Goo. If he obtained it, he could use it as the core and elevate the power of the Immortal Killer Move Myriad Self by several levels. As for Fairy Li Shan's Mountain Pledge Goo, with it, Fang Yuan would have the same advantage as Fairy Li Shan, helping other goo immortals make agreements. This was an extremely popular service. The benefits could surpass the Guts Goo trade. That was because using Mountain Pledge Goo to make agreements for others not only was highly profitable, he could also establish connections. Fairy Li Shan was able to mingle in both the righteous and demonic paths. A lot of that was due to this Immortal Goo. Mountain Pledge Goo was not an attack-type Immortal Goo. It could not provide defense or movement abilities to the Gu. Immortal. But whoever held it will gain a huge advantage. It was only an assistance-type immortal Gu. But Gu Immortals were not only concerned about fighting and killing. Gu Immortals placed emphasis cultivation. Management were their biggest priority. Realistically, fighting was just a small portion of a Gu Immortal's life. Only with the 5 regions' chaotic war would fighting become the general focus. Just as Fang Yuan was pondering, Snowy Mountain Blessed Land shook. A rank 8 Gu Immortals' immense aura emanated and filled the surroundings. We welcome old ancestors' arrival. Soon, several demonic path Gu Immortals spoke from their respective mountain peaks. It is old ancestor Shuehu. He has his own grotto heaven. He almost never comes here. Why is he here now? Tai Bai Yunsheng's expression changed. The moment he said that, he heard old ancestor Shuehu's voice, resonating through the blessed land. All of you, come to the main hall and see me now. I have an important matter to discuss with everyone. As you command, old ancestor. The demonic path Gu Immortals shouted in unison. Figures of Gu Immortals rapidly flew out from the mountain peaks. Tai Bai Yunsheng's expression paled. He said, "Oh no, Fairy Li Shan is still in a dream. If she does not appear or say anything, old ancestor Shuehu will definitely get suspicious and come here to check. We can escape with fixed immortal travel, and Fairy Li Shan would not be attacked. But He Lu Lan is the problem. She is not a member of Snowy Mountain and is a key character who has experienced the true Yang building incident. Once she is captured and has her soul searched, we are all doomed." Bam, bam, bam. While an intense explosion sounded out, a pathetic figure was fleeing rapidly. Behind him, there was a huge wolf sprinting out of the smoke, opening its bloodthirsty mouth and speaking a human language. "Chan Yu Zhong, where are you trying to escape to?" The pathetic figure was Chan Yu Zhong. He continued to escape as he yelled with a panicked expression. "He Lang Zi. Hey chum, don't go too far. Otherwise, I will drag you guys down with me." Immemorial flame axe. His body shuddered. He put his palms together as he turned around, exerting a chopping motion with them. Immediately, fire rose as they gathered to form an axe in midair, attacking the huge wolf. Before the attack even landed, the scorching flames already burned some of the wolf's fur. The huge fiery axe caused the surrounding sky to glow red. It was powerful and carried an aura of destruction with it, as if it could rampage to kill innumerable beings. This was an immortal killer move. It had incredible offensive power, but facing such a powerful attack, He Lang Zi's gaze shined with disdain and mockery. Swoosh! The huge wolf vanished, evading the immemorial flame axe and blocking Chan Yu Zhong's escape route. No matter how fierce the attack, what good is it if you cannot hit? Fairy Jiangyu appeared, floating in the air. She had taken action just now, teleporting He Lang Zi away using an immortal movement killer move. Damn! Chan Yu Zhong gritted his teeth. His heart sank as his angry and helpless face showed a hint of despair. "You are distracted." Suddenly, a black-robed Gu Immortal appeared behind him. Chan Yu Zhong was shocked, quickly retreating as he created some distance. The mysterious Gu Immortal remained on the spot, stretching out his right arm while his palm was aimed at Chan Yu Zhong. "This distance is enough. Now, have a taste of my soul suction immortal Gu's power." Chan Yu Zhong's movements froze. His body turned stiff as his soul shook. It was like there was a huge force trying to pull his soul out of his body. Oh no! Chan Yu Zhong was shocked. Ordinary defensive measures could not defend against such soul path methods. He tried to stabilize his soul, momentarily going into a deadlock with the mysterious black-robed Gu Immortal. "Quickly assist me," the black-robed Gu Immortal said. The moment he said that, Hei Chung and Shuesong Zi flew towards him, placing their arms on his shoulders. By surreptitiously using some Gu worms, all 3 of their souls worked together and formed an even greater force. Soul suction immortal Gu was used in this way. It was like drawing in a river, disregarding all other aspects. It was a direct contest between souls to AT this moment. The black-robed Gu Immortal, Hei Chung, Shuesong Zi collaborated. They had a huge advantage against Chan Yu Zhong. "I am unresigned. I am full of hatred. Ah, let me go." Chan Yu Zhong was unable to resist them. His soul was pulled out eventually. Without his soul to control it, His body fell downwards from the air rapidly, like a puppet with its strings cut. But soon after, Fairy Jiangyu caught it. She searched it and laughed. As expected, this fire path immortal goo is in Chanyu Zhong Heir's blessed land. So your real motive was my fire path immortal goo. What do you guys actually want? Chanyu Zhong Heir's soul was held by the black robe goo immortal. He continued to shout furiously. No, we did not lie to you. The sandalwood sacred elephant egg was also our target. But compared to the immortal goo, it is like the icing on the cake. Fairy Jiangyu smiled. Their scheme had succeeded. Her mood was great. But just as she was about to continue speaking, her expression changed. Not only her, at the same time, even the black-robed goo immortal's hands shook. He was wearing a black robe. His head was covered by a huge hood. His face was shrouded in darkness. He said with a hoarse voice. Qin Baisheng was ambushed. Humph. So this swordmaster Yulan is an impostor, a goo immortal from Central Continent. Qin Baisheng cannot be lost. Quickly go and save him. Fairy Jiangyu said anxiously, soaring away without any hesitation or pause. The black-robed goo immortal and He Lang Zi followed suit. Only He Cheng and Xuesong Zi were left. Lord He Cheng, do we follow? Xuesong Zi was hesitant. He Cheng looked at the black-robed goo immortal and felt a lot of wariness. Not long ago, this person had appeared, showcasing many different methods. He had great power and had an extraordinary relation to Fairy Jiangyu. Xuesong Zi was hesitant, but was He Cheng any different? It seems that this black-robed goo immortal is also a member of Shadow Sect. He Lang Zi might be the same as us, being a collaborator. Shadow Sect and Central Continent's goo immortals. He Cheng's gaze flickered. His body flew up in pursuit of Fairy Jiangyu and the others. Xuesong Zi snorted coldly. He quickly followed them. Huff, huff, huff. Qin Baisheng breathed roughly. There were dozens of wounds on him. Some were bleeding. Some were so deep one could see bones. Some of his skin had turned black, emitting a foul odor. As expected of a famous expert of Northern Plains, we attacked together and ambushed you, but you still managed to heavily injure 3 of us. Feng Jiugu crossed his arms as he watched, praising with a gaze of admiration. Northern Plains goo immortals truly have excellent battle strength. Your methods and ours seem to have little discrepancy, yet you managed to make such great battle results. Qin Baisheng, you are an outstanding person. Give up and surrender. Our words earlier were truthful. As long as you tell us some people's identities, we will let you leave. There were Central Continent goo immortals all around Qin Baisheng. They opened their mouths as they urged him. Among them, Fairy Ling Mei and Fairy Ao Shui of Heaven's Envy Manor, as well as a young-looking goo immortal, Old Oracle from Ancient Soul Sect, were quite heavily injured. You want me to surrender? Qin Baisheng raised his eyebrows, spitting out a mouthful of bloody saliva. Bah! Outsiders from another region infiltrating us in Northern Plains. Intruders. I'm telling you, we of Northern Plains are not cowards. Come at me if you have the guts. Don't worry, before I die, I will certainly drag one of you down with me. Feng Jiugu sighed helplessly. In that case, the rest of you can stand down. I will handle it myself. Qin Baisheng's gaze was heavy as he stared at Feng Jiugu. He did not know who Feng Jiugu was, but he knew that he was the leader. During the battle earlier, he did not participate. He stood aloof. I will only use one move. If you can take it, I will let you leave. Feng Jiugu flew towards Qin Baisheng slowly. His expression was calm as he spoke lightly.